Hello friends, welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to do a top-down analysis on the gold and GJ. So as usual, we will start with the monthly time frame, and then we will go down to lower time frames, weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 1 hour and 30 minutes time frame. So without wasting any time, let's get started. First of all, we are going to start with the gold monthly time frame. So we can see that we are on the gold monthly time frame. So also we could see that we have this resistance. So like as we can see, we had this resistance, and resistance, and finally, we got so every time basically, we could see that the price rejected. This was the resistance, and we got this last monthly candle close above this resistance. So now once we get a closure above the resistance, so there was a pretty high probability for the next candle to basically create a bottom wick and continue going to the upside. So we can see that on the current monthly candle we have already created a bottom wick, and now there is a pretty high probability we can continue going to the upside, although we have already basically made a move to the upside, and right now it all depends upon how we get a closure here. So anyways, let's go to weekly time frame to see more details what is going to happen on the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, we can see that we look pretty much bullish as price is making higher highs and higher lows. So as we can see that we created a higher low, higher low, and then we broke the previous high, created a new high. So basically we are making higher highs and higher lows. Price already came down, created some kind of support. So now there is a pretty high probability we are going to come to the upside to retest this high created. Also, if we look more closely, we can see that we had this resistance here. So like we could see that we have this resistance, rejection, resistance, and by looking here we can see that we have this weekly candle close above this resistance, right? And then the next candle, with the rejection to the upside, we close back below this support. So the move to the upside became a fake out. Now if we also look closely, we can see that the last weekly candle closed back above this resistance. So we had this resistance, and we could see that this candle basically created a support here at this previous break and retest area, and we can see that the last weekly candle closed above this resistance level, and we have this resistance right here. So we can see that the last weekly candle already retested this resistance. Now like as an anticipation, what we anticipate next weekly candle to do now, because we already created a high, price came down, created a support. So now I believe there is a pretty high probability for the price to continue up and retest the previous high. So at the same time, we know that we had this resistance right here. So like I anticipate the next weekly candle basically to create the bottom. It will be great if we can come to this area to like find some liquidity, or you can say it's a kind of retesting this area and then move to the basically to the upside to fill this wick and come to this resistance. And if we finally get a closure above this resistance, there is a pretty high probability we can come to the next resistance, which is right into this area. So that is some anticipation on the weekly time frame. Now let's go to daily time frame to see what is happening on the daily time frame. Daily time frame, as we can see, price looks very bullish because we are making higher highs and higher lows. So we created a high, price came down, created a low, which is higher low, and then we broke the previous high, created a new high, price came down, created a support. So right now, as you can see, price is moving to the upside in order to retest the previous high created in this uptrend. So we are bullish on the daily time frame. Also now if we look closely, we can see that we have this resistance. So we can see we have this resistance and resistance, and we got this daily candle close above this resistance. So once we get a daily candle close above the resistance, there was a pretty high probability for the price to come to the next resistance. And as we can see, the last daily candle already retested this high. We got a bullish candle close with a rejection to the upside. So what we anticipate on the daily time frame, so we know that we have resistance right here, and then there is another resistance right there. So now on the daily time frame, I anticipate it all depends upon how we do. We already closed above this resistance, and now this area has become a support for the price. So if we hold this support, there is a pretty high probability price is going to continue, going to go to the upside. So basically, the daily candle, next daily candle, we can come down, create some kind of bottom wick. So there is a pretty high probability we can fill this wick. And again, if you get a daily candle close above this resistance, we can see that we have clean range on the left hand side to continue going to the next resistance, which is right into these areas. So that is something on the daily time frame, we can see at the moment. Also to the downside, we can see that we have pretty choppy area until this area. We can see we have support, then we have finally this support. All right, so the next support is right into these areas. So if we get a daily candle close below this support, there is a pretty high probability we will continue going to the next support, which is right here. Also we have clean range here on the left hand side. So that is something on the daily time frame. Now let's go to 4-hour time frame to find more details of what is happening on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour, we can see that the price is making higher highs and higher lows at the moment. So we created a high, higher low. We did not create a new high, but we created a higher low. So higher low, higher low. Then we broke the previous high and created a new high. Right now the price is retracing to the downside. I'm waiting for some kind of support formation. The price can form support in this area, or we can form support in this area, or the price can come down here and find support in this area. So finally to continue going to the upside to reach as the previous high created. That is something I anticipate on the 4-hour time frame. Now let's go to 1-hour time frame to see more details. On the 1-hour time frame as well, the price is very bullish because we are making higher highs and higher lows. So as we can see, we created a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We created a high. Right now the price is right into these areas. So I anticipate finally finding some kind of support to continue going to the upside to reach as the previous high. If we can look more closely, we can also find out that we have a resistance and we have a support, right? So the next resistance is right here and the next support is right here. So we can see that if we get a closure above this resistance, there is a clean range on the left hand side. So pretty high probability for the price to continue up to the next resistance. To the downside, we have this level right here. So I'll be waiting for a break and retest kind of situation. I'll not be looking for a short because the price is very much bullish, right? And I will not be interested in sell. Maybe better sells below this area, or it will be like if the price this is a level. So if the price get a candle close below and then we come up, create resistance here, then I'll be looking to take short in order to target this area and more support to the downside. And to the upside I have already mentioned. Now let's go to 30-minute time frame to see what is happening on the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute looks very bullish because we are making higher highs and higher lows. We created a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and right now the price came down, made a retracement. Now waiting for some kind of bullish market structure to continue going to the upside to retest the previous high created, right? Also, if we look more closely, we can also find out that we have this resistance and we have this support. The next support is right here, and next resistance, major resistance, is right there. So because the price is very much bullish, we are making higher highs and higher lows. So what I anticipate, if we get a candle closure, so let me also measure this range, how much range we have here. From here to here, we have like 34 pip of range. So this also looks very promising, like above this area and how it is on 1-hour time frame. So I think it is okay. So like we have this range here as well. So we have a support, we have a resistance, right? And this one is a minor level right here. So now let's see what we anticipate on the 30-minute time frame. So if we get a 30-minute candle close above this area, right, something like this during a high volume session like London session or New York session, then I will anticipate the New York or London session volume to push the price to the next resistance, which is right here. And finally, if we get a close above this resistance, there is a pretty high probability the price is going to continue to the next resistance level as well. That is something to the upside. To the downside, I'll be saying that if we get a candle close below this support, so we know that we have clean range on the left hand side, but we have this minor level. So if I get a closure below this level during a high volume time, I'll be I will see if I can enter the trade. I mean, basically, if we get a candle close below and the next candle created a top wick, then I'll be looking to take a short. I will manage some trades, at this area, but my final target will be this area. Otherwise, if the second scenario can be, the price came down and we came up, basically, this level rejected the price and we get resistance at this area, then I'll be looking to take short in order to target this area. So that is something on the 30-minute time frame on the gold. So let's go to GJ monthly time frame. So we are on the GJ monthly time frame at the moment. So we can say, by looking at the market structure, it looks very bullish because we are making high highs and higher lows. So we can see we created a high, higher low. So now we created a new high. Right now I'm waiting for some kind of a pullback, maybe to this area or maybe to this area, to continue going to the upside in order to retest the previous high created. So that is something on the monthly time frame. Also, like we had this support, and if we get a monthly candle close below this support, there is a pretty high probability price is going to continue going to the downside to this support or this support. Anyways, we are bullish on the monthly time frame, but we anticipate the price to come down as we are anticipating a pullback. Right now on the weekly time frame, market structure was bullish because we were making high highs and higher lows, but right now we can see that we had this support and we had this last this weekly candle close bearish below this support, but with a rejection, and the last weekly candle close, bullish, but with a huge rejection to the upside. So what I anticipate personally, what I anticipate at the moment, I anticipate the price, next weekly candle to open up, create a little bit of a top wick or basically grab liquidity in this area. And once we start breaking the low of the previous bullish candle, then if we break the low of the previous bullish candle, then there is a pretty high probability price is going to continue to fill this week, as we can see here, and the next target is right into these areas. And then we have more clean range on the left hand side for the price to continue going to the downside. That is something I anticipate on the weekly time frame, which is perfectly aligning with the monthly time frame, as we are anticipating a pullback on the monthly time frame as well. Now let's go to a daily time frame to see what is happening on the daily time frame. So we can see that on the daily time frame there was a support right into these areas, and we broke the support right here. So we could see that we had the support, price broke the support, created a low, we created a lower high, basically retested this area, then we broke the previous low, created a new low, and price came up, kind of retested the same area, and basically we created a low, lower high, lower low, lower high kind of structure. So although we did not create a new low, but we are creating a lower high, so price is still bearish on the daily time frame. Now we can see that we have this support, and then we have another support a little bit lower, and then there is a support a little bit lower as well. So finally let's mark our support here. So basically what we need, we can see that we have a range here. There is a support right here that we know, and then there is another support right here. So we can see here we have this support, and the next support right here, right? So we have these levels. So what we need at the moment is on the daily time frame, we need a candle closure, because this is what we anticipated on the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame, that we want the price, or we anticipate the price to go down. So but we have this huge support here. So what we need is we need a daily candle close below this support. We can see that price never closed below this support. We support, right? We found support. So candle, no daily candle was able to close below. If you get a daily candle close below, that's it's going to become a pretty high probability for the price to continue going to the downside. The first target will be this area. As we can see, we got rejections in this area in the past, right? So we can see we got rejection in this area. This one is going to be the first target. Then we can if we get a closure below this area, there is a pretty high probability price will continue down to the next support. Also we could see that we have clean range on the left hand side. That is something I anticipate on the daily time frame. Now let's see what is happening on the 4-hour time frame. Let's clear all these lines as well. By looking at the 4-hour, it looks like the market structure is bearish at the moment because we are making lower lows and lower highs. We created a lower high, lower low, lower high, and right now the prices continue going to the downside in order to retest the previous low created, right? That is something we can see by looking at the market structure. Also, we can see that we have this a level here for our support. So we can see that in the past we found support, and support, right? So this one is going to be a strong support as we anticipated on the daily time frame as well. We looking for a candle closure below the support. The same thing here on the 4-hour time frame. We anticipate a 4-hour candle closure below this area in order to continue going to the downside. Also, let's look at where the resistances are. So we can see that we have a level here. We have that one as a level, and there is another level right here as well. So in terms of the resistance, we can see that resistance, and we have a level here as well. In terms of this one, we have this one as a level, this one is a resistance, and kind of resistance, and same resistance as well. So we have these resistances in this area as well. So if we get basically a candle close above this level during a high volume time, we can anticipate the price to continue going to the next resistance, which is right into these areas, right? And above this we have resistance right into here. So if we get a 4-hour candle closure above this area, there will be pretty high probability during a high volume session we can continue going to the next resistance. By looking to the downside, we can see that we have this one as a support, as I mentioned, and we have the next support right into these areas. So if we get a 4-hour candle closure below the support, there is a pretty high probability price will continue going down to the next support, which is right here. So that is something we anticipate on the 4-hour to the upside and to the downside. Now let's go to 1-hour time frame to see more details what is happening on the 1-hour time frame. So on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that the price is now making higher highs and higher lows. We create a higher low, higher low, higher high, and right now if we can find support in this area, there'll be a pretty high probability we can continue going to the upside. But we can also see that we have a support right here as well. We have a support here. If we get a candle close below, there is a clean range to the left hand side. So if we get a candle close below the support, there is a pretty high probability price will continue going down to the next support, which is right here, and we can retest more support. But if we find support in this area, there is a pretty high probability we can come up to retest the previous high, because we are already making higher highs and higher lows as a market structure on the 1-hour time frame. Now let's go to 30-minute time frame to see what is happening on the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame as well, we are making higher highs and higher lows, as we can see right here. So we created a higher low, higher low, higher low. We broke the previous high, created a new high. Right now the price is kind of retracing. So if we find support in this area, there is a pretty high probability we will come up to retest the previous high created, right? So if we look more closely, we can also find out that we have this a level, this is a resistance, right? And this one is a support. So by looking left, we can see that we have this resistance, right? Next resistance is right into here. So if we get a 30-minute candle closure above this level during a high volume time, London session or New York session, there is a pretty high probability price will continue to the next resistance, which is right here. Also, we have clean range here, right? That is something to the upside. Now to the downside, what can I see to the downside? That below this level there is another level which is right here. So now let's measure this range. Here we have like 25 pip range. Now how much is the range here? We don't have enough range. It's 18 pip or something range. So I believe that let's keep this one as a support, and the next support is right here. So if basically we get 30 minutes or candle closure below the support, so there is a pretty high probability price will continue going down to the next support, which is right here. Also, we can see that we have clean range on the left hand side, right? So there will be, we anticipate the price to move smoothly during a high volume time to the next support, which is right here. So that is on the that is a GJ on the 30-minute time frame. So that's it, guys. This was the analysis video on the gold and GJ from monthly to the 30-minute time frame. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really did like the video, share the video and subscribe to the channel in order to support the channel and YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. See you in another video.